Welcome to BDP.
Shout out second place, baby. Check them out. That's right there.
That's right, yeah. Come on. What is this making you feel right now?
Looks like I'm by the moon. The song. Come on. Check it out. Joshua Zakoff. Shout out.
Beautiful man.
Great story. We need to get Aaron on here to talk about how they met.
100%. Can't get us copyright.
Sitting by the moon, even though it's noon. I'm just moving to the view of my muse, and I'm amused. The view's all new, all the blacks and all the blues. I'm just swimming through the hues. Look. Yeah, I cried out to God, but he don't hear an empty heart. So I filled it up with pain, and then I tore it all apart. Laughs came after, compassion could carry caskets. I'm passing defensive tactics attached to different facets. I'm matching several ashes, had to burn for satisfaction. Now I'm moving up the stream, and I'm feeling asthmatic. I keep having visions of everyone in position. They say they speak in death, and it's wisdom that you don't listen. Hear the screams of my conscience, I'm constant and keep composure. Wounds don't ever heal if they hit from light and exposure. Amnesia got me thinking this the code of a soldier, but it's in my DNA. We paying blood, I'm here to stay.
We're by the moon right now.
That's right.
It's dark outside.
I think I can see through the window.
Oh, I can too.
They tell me that I'm selfish, I'm only feeling helpless, but you won't hear my cry. Safe on your arms, I'ma lay there. Praying on the Psalms, I'm
How good is that piano?
They tell me that I'm selfish,
Just a
I'm only
beautiful.
feeling helpless.
Is this
but
a bridge?
you
I think it's a
won't hear
bridge.
my cries.
Come on, Aaron. We need to get
Losing
you
all
on
the
here.
hope and I keep losing
Shout
every
out to
fight.
Aaron
I
Clark.
keep losing all the peace
Huge
that I
shout
found
out.
within the nights. Leave my tears and lamentations for some deeper concentration. I only want the
You guys
wine,
are getting
keep
the full
juices
song, baby.
concentrated. It's vital I stay vacant or I feel unempty tasted. Years have been wasted on faces and
You're
shallow
welcome.
faces. Is a hand go feed the serpent
Yeah.
or the servant? This savant the way I
Blessing
learned to
your
learn
ears
to see
up.
through different colors like collage of broken mirrors. Shapeshift my reflection and I promise they
Shapeshift.
will see us. They will
Them
see
watch
us.
Little shout out to our next pod. We're gonna be doing.
Sneak peek.
It is a sneak peek. It's a sneaky peek.
That's what I'm saying.
Go to it.
Come on. Imagine this as your first song you ever put out to the world. Come on.
You hear that, guys? I'm doing a chef's kiss right now.
This is your debut song. What a great start to an amazing career.
Just glazing up second place. We absolutely love it.
Great artist. Check them out now.
Well, I got one thing to say to that.
I was not expecting that.
I didn't think that was.
Oh,
All right, let's
even
keep
better.
going.
Just go through Aaron's discography.
All bird songs. Oh, that was the wrong. Okay, that works.
Can't even say it.
Hold on. I meant to
canceled.
do this. I accidentally had my N-words embarrassed button.
That was a bad mix-up.
Yeah.
We're gonna get canceled even though we don't even have any viewers yet.
Yeah.
First episode canceled.
Welcome in. BDP is back and better than ever with more sophisticated content this time around.
That's right.
Although I look back on our other videos and I still really enjoy them.
Yeah.
Guys, we're seeing the comments. We're still seeing them come in. We enjoy them.
A lot of love. Even looking back at the beginning of our careers, even before BDP, before we were back just doing, we've always kind of dealt with out of context content, but BDP was the one that popped off, and we tried to branch out and do we got a little Xbox mini fridge review. We did Does Pineapple Belong on Pizza? Video game tier list. We had a lot of things going, but we respect it that, you guys come for out of context, so we just kept making out of context. So, it's all about the laughs. We're just glad we provide people with laughter. That's all you can ever ask for, really.
Yeah.
You can't buy that.
And we didn't we didn't really get any. Sorry, I'm just messing with the audio here. I'm still getting used to it, trying to get the right levels. So if you heard some stuff changing, I was just watching the bars bounce up and down. I want it to be sounding somewhat decent. This is our first time doing this, so we'll only get better. But yeah, going back to BDP, the original idea for the content, we just really enjoyed seeing whatever content we could make blow up, and just seeing the comments of people laughing about the stuff that they enjoyed when they were younger. Just they could watch a full compilation on YouTube, and yeah, I mean, it was hard to keep the content going just because it took a long time to put those videos together, and us not making any money from it because it all got copyrighted, which, I mean, it makes sense, but with it getting copyrighted and all, it just didn't really fit into the schedule with everything else going on. Those videos took a while to make.
Yeah, especially with when we started going to LCA, and before that, when we were making that out of context, we were mostly homeschooling. And LCA, that comes with a lot of, homeschool. You kind of breeze by it and get some other things going since you're already at home the whole time. But you go to LCA, or you go to school in general, can kind of get cluttered with all that instead of, focusing on your passions or whatever. But it was great. It was great to just see the fruits of our labor, and it was good. It was just great to see people actually were interested in what we were putting work into, just to see, I don't know, all the comments, just a lot of uplifting comments that are just, it was just great to know we were bringing laughter to people and bringing joy. And it was definitely a great era at that, and we worked really hard for that. Many channels many channels were deleted because we tried to monetize it, and then we just had to start over. But
Yep.
we persisted, and I think it paid off pretty well.
Let's go through the channel names really quick. What's the earliest one you can think of?
So we had channels. I don't know if our listeners know who Dream is. He was
Probably.
or is a Minecraft YouTuber. I don't know if he still does it, but back in 2019, 2020, 2021, he really was blowing up. He just did like Minecraft videos and speedrunning Minecraft, specifically like beating the game as quick as possible. And me and David really liked, we were really invested in Minecraft at that point in our lives, and we saw him and we were like, man, this guy's entertaining to watch. And YouTube started recommending us different people, like putting together clips of his videos and stuff like that, making like memes or just editing together funny clips and stuff. And we were like, well, these guys are getting a bunch of views and I'm sure they're making money off of it, so what if we try this? And I don't think we started with Dream though. We did Wadsy. I think that might have been one of the first channels.
Those were out of context too, right?
Yeah. Well, I remember because we were seeing all of these channels on Dream, and we were like, okay, it's so saturated with so much of that content. Why don't we try another YouTuber that's kind of blowing up right now, and we could be the first ones to get to that. And we tried, and it was still fun.
Well, that was when Minecraft had they had like a total resurgence where, I mean, any content even pertaining to Minecraft, and especially those big YouTubers who are getting the value share of the views on YouTube, any content with those people would be blowing up. And so it was what we were comfortable with, making content, taking just like little 5-second clips and just compiling them together. It was comfortable for us, and it was kind of easy. So it was already content we were watching, so we kind of already had an idea of certain moments that we could go to kind of find moments that we thought were funny that other people would enjoy. And so yeah, I think we started with Wadsy, Bean Boy.
Oh, that was the name. I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah, there's Bean Boy. Then that was like for some other YouTubers. And then when we switched to Dream, we did like a Dream Investigator.
Dreamy
Dream. Yep.
There's
Lots of names we're not proud of.
Yeah, it
Just
was
basically unoriginal.
we were just throwing things at the wall. We were like, is this gonna stick? But
Yeah.
there was like 4 or 5 names we went through because we were just. I remember Bean Boy was a branch off of Space Croissant.
True.
He was a
I
big
forgot about
inspiration.
him.
And, well, he was, he made stupid content. No offense to him, it was just we were kind of jealous. We were a little jelly throughout our YouTube career of him. And yeah, Space Croissant, he would just do like little clips, and he'd have like a little robot talking in the beginning, and we were like, okay, we could do this better. And then we had Bean Boy. I don't even know what does that have to do? But at the same time, what does a Space Croissant have to do with Minecraft?
It's true.
So you really look at it and you're like, why is this name synonymous with the success? Like, it doesn't really make sense sometimes.
The ones that don't make the most sense can be the ones that actually pop off.
Yeah, it's just all about algorithm, probably.
That's what we were talking. That's what we thought when we did Bean Boy. But yeah, Space Croissant, he really hit the market. And at the time, we saw him getting all these views off of just clips, and we saw ads on his videos. So we were like, he must be making money. And now that, you think back to it, he would have been, because it was just YouTube content. But I guess it didn't click to us that if we went for, not YouTube content, but for other content on Cartoon Network, obviously it's going to get copyrighted. So those were the ones that really blew up for us, not really as much the YouTube ones.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a couple videos where we did dream face reveal, faked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Not the brightest moments.
We had a couple ones we tried to. Oh, yeah. That's not a good way to build a YouTube career. Of lies. I remember we got so much hate.
Yeah.
Because I put together this video where.
This is Dream.
Hi.
That
was one of them. And we just clickbaited. Oh, man, that was not a bright point. We clickbaited people, and then we did another one. I put it together, and it was him on stream, like, opening a chest, and then he did a move, and then he stopped moving. And then I edited together this random gamer.
Just put him in the top right corner.
That I thought he would look like. And I did a little flash, and then when he stops, it's like he's trying to fix and turn off his face cam or something. That like blew up.
It's pretty smart.
And then everybody was like, that's not Dream. That's this other guy. Apparently he's kind of popular, so everybody picked up on it, and they were like calling me out. But I mean, come on. It was clickbaited people, but there was a little bit of humor in it. I feel like some people would have been like, okay, this is kind of funny. But we didn't have the best intentions, and we reaped what we sowed. Is that the saying? I think that's the saying. So yeah, we built our career off of lies at that point of our YouTube career, and it failed. I think
it did.
It was rightfully crashed and burned.
Crumbled just like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we got into the out of context space within regular show, a show we watched all the time. Just when we were growing up and everything. And so that was something we really had a passion for. So we kind of matched the two and made this one video, and it just exploded. I think it has like 2 million views right now, or 1.3. Not quite 2 million, I don't think. I think it's like 1.2, 1.3. But yeah.
Yeah, are you talking about the regular show one?
Yeah, the first one that exploded.
Okay.
That got us pretty much all the views we have, the subscribers we have now, who are going to be way confused on this content. But hey, we don't have any other YouTube channel with any sort of reach. So this is me and Ben. So may as well post on this because this is a production.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull it up right here. Where is it? We have one that was 53,000, and Gumball 260,000, and then regular show out of context is 1.1 million.
Okay, so a little bit off. What is the Smiling Friends one at?
Smiling Friends is 1.3 million right now.
That's what I was confused with.
I didn't think it surpassed the regulars. That's like a big moment.
That is a big moment.
1.3 million.
Yeah, honestly, that video kind of got us thinking of making content again.
Yeah,
and
just blew up out of nowhere. It used to have 600K.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it blew up because of the new season, people searching for it, YouTube pushing it. But yeah, we don't make any money on any of those videos. Our channel isn't monetized right now, and I mean, I don't even really care. This is just content we're putting out because Just trying to spark that creative vein again, kind of, for me more so, because Ben does a lot of music stuff and is working on his own music with Second Place under a new band name or a new production name. I don't know if you want to.
It's under construction right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to think. Are you talking about the collab name or?
Yeah, the collab name.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of mentioning that as like, you know, that's your and Aaron's outlet for creativity, and you guys are really good with that. But I like talking with people, and I like having conversations. And I had a podcast a while back, called DTH, where I talked about, it was Dave Talks Hockey, and I would just talk about the NHL and different, like, our fantasy hockey league that we have. I really enjoy hockey. Ben really enjoys hockey. Aaron really enjoys hockey, who we're going to be doing a podcast with. And so that was kind of a passion of mine. So I decided to talk about hockey because that interested me. I did that for I probably had 7 or 8 episodes, and then that kind of just slowly drifted off because, one, the content was kind of hard to make because I was doing it through our iPad and posting it through Anchor, and it just, I don't know, that wasn't the best app. But the way I'm doing this podcast and these future podcasts is just so much easier. It's just better in general for quality's sake. I actually made a somewhat investment on this equipment, and I just think it'll be worth it in the long run, and I'll get my value out of this stuff just out of the enjoyment I have with being creative, not even wanting to make money off of these podcasts or anything, just to have them, to go back to them and see kind of what the topics of discussion were. And again, we have some other podcasts in the works with Aaron, and this one with me and Ben. And so, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that. And so we've decided to start this podcast and kind of just talk about some other stuff.
Yeah, it's
I didn't think it was that one.
yeah. Come on, audience, simmer down. We gotta crack a good joke for that.
Come on.
All right.
What was that about?
Josh Dunn on the drums. Come on, you can't be.
Chick-fil-A!
Kanye's in the audience.
Yeah, he's yelling out at us.
He's gonna come up on stage and steal our mics. What were we talking about? Oh yeah. So I think we pretty much covered BDP pretty well.
Yeah, it's really not a channel with too deep of lore, to be honest.
I mean, there was a lot of stabs at the same. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a really witty comparison. I don't know if this makes any sense. Back in the day, maybe the Civil War or Revolutionary War. Do you think they practiced on hay there's
What are you talking?
I was trying to make.
That's it. You deserve this.
No, it makes sense.
It's very blurry.
Okay,
crickets.
listen.
It's supposed to be crickets. Very blurry.
We're making the same stab at the same straw man, basically.
Okay.
So you know how back they probably practice on hay people, you know?
Yeah. Little paper bag on the top.
Yeah.
Little face cut into
So
it.
we were
pumpkin.
We were just stabbing at that out of context, hey man, and then we finally struck gold or
Struck the hay man's heart.
yeah, with BDP. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. So.
And then he just started singing.
Then he woke up. Oh, is that all you got?
Yeah. I just wanted the
Gotta get to the good morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, where should we go? There's a lot of avenues we could go right now.
Where do we go from here? Changes none. That's Rocket League. But
okay, we could go into Rocket League. That could be it.
Well, Rocket League was actually one of the first videos I posted on BDP. It was me playing Rocket League in the background, talking about pineapple on pizza.
Oh, that's right. We tried to expand into commentary.
If it belonged. Yeah, because, I mean, that just seemed more sustainable. I'm a big fan of Optimus on YouTube and some other guys that just play video games like Call of Duty and such like that, and just talk about even like politics and really just state of affairs of like everything, like any drama going on. Like they just record themselves playing a video game and then just talk in the background of it. But I don't know, even that turned out to be too much of a like time steal for me.
Yeah, well, you think about it, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but then you actually get into it, and you're like, I have to play like this game for like half an hour or whatever. If you want to get a good game that you play, it might take longer. Then you have to figure out all the stuff with how to transfer. You have to buy the things to like video record and get it on an SD card, and then you have to transfer it over to a computer, edit your voice. You got to write your lines. You got to speak your lines correctly in a way you enjoy. You got to edit it together. It's like, it turns into a pretty big ordeal.
Yeah.
And if you're not enjoying it and you're not reaping rewards from it, it's going to fall by the wayside probably, like ours did. You should get busy with other things, basically, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, especially if you're trying to use it to make money, like you can get way too critical of yourself and end up, like one of the things I found with the commentary channel was I was editing so much, and like I was doing so many jump cuts because that was like the thing. Like all the YouTubers had to have like really good jump cuts and have everything be really, you know, quick and witty. And I just was spending so much time on editing, and it just wipes you out. It really does. So the hallmark for this podcast and any other podcast I do in the future, like this next one with me, Ben, and Aaron, all three of us, is just going to be simplicity, because in the end, I just want the content to be out there, and obviously I want it to have a level of quality, but not like get overly just overly complex and critical of the podcast. Like I don't want it to have any major expectations. I just want it to, you know, do its thing and stand alone. Kind of like Joe Rogan, just a conversation.
Yeah. Man, I wish you got Kamala on.
Yeah,
that would have been pretty funny.
That would have been a good pod.
They were
funny pod.
They were just trying to get a bunch of strings attached to where they could control the conversation.
Yeah, they
should have known he wasn't going to agree to that. Joe Rogan is like, he likes to just let it flow, which is a really good way. That's why he's so popular. That's why he has the biggest podcast in the game.
Well, they tried to get him to come to her, but she was in Austin, and he said, "Come whenever you want to," but she never did. He said the Kamala's team never like went and like actually said we would do it. They just kept dodging him.
Yeah.
I think that's because they knew he was just going to talk with her, and it would be just a 3-hour conversation, and it would expose her, because she can't really say anything without the okay from her higher ups.
Yeah.
So basically it's just a moment where you just gotta
Lift yourself up on your feet. Let's get it on. Lift yourself up on your feet.
Come on, lift up, Kamala.
Let's get it on.
Get on that podcast.
no.
What a great song.
We love Trump's in.
We absolutely love that.
Yep. Just lost all of our subscribers.
We're big Trumpers.
The out of context channels on YouTube probably.
I wonder if they're
probably more conservative. I mean, if they laugh, if they like comedy, like out of context moments.
Yeah,
I could see
if you
it.
like Smiley Friends, I feel like you can have a pretty good sense of humor and not be all up in arms about it. But yeah, what's
Skinny
been going
P.
on? What's
no,
We're talking about Breaking Bad now?
it's not.
Oh, okay.
I meant to.
Skinny P.
What's that guy's?
Oh, the drug dealer.
The drug dealer guy in Smiling Friends with the gun. Get out of me head, man.
Get out of my head, man.
Get out of me head.
I don't know.
I don't know if does he have a name. He shows up in the new season too.
No, I don't think he has a name. Yellow skinny man.
Yeah,
That's his name.
not Skinny P. He looks like a Skinny P though. Same type of character.
Yeah, it could have been like a precursor to Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Skinny P. Favorite show of all time, by the way.
Oh, it's up there.
Up there.
Have a day one day. Yeah. After you've done this podcast, you're gonna have an A1 day. It's a
Have an
little
A1.
Walt Jr.
Yeah.
wish for you.
Yeah. I wonder. So it's not your favorite podcast. I mean, not your favorite show.
For me.
Yeah.
Um,
What tops it?
I mean, for reality drama, like, I guess that's what you would call it.
Yeah. I think.
It's at the top. It is. I mean, if you're just talking about shows in general, there's The Office but you can't really compare the two.
Yeah.
One's comedy and the other's, like a full story. Not that The Office isn't a storyline, but it's like,
I feel like a good comparison would be like The Walking Dead, maybe.
Stranger Things.
Yeah. Season 5. There's a season 5 of Stranger Things. It should be gone.
Very meh.
Should be.
Oh, we're getting a call.
Oh, let's see who it's from.
It's from
it's a
Mom.
scammer. I was gonna play it off like it was.
Did you see? Yeah. Well,
We should. Yeah, I don't know. Would it be
should've
illegal?
sent a text really quick.
Would it be legal to just call like just random numbers and see if they would want to talk on the podcast?
Yeah, we could.
Just call like Papa John's.
We're gonna have
former-
for pizza
former
delivery.
employer.
You have an in there.
Yeah, we could talk about working at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. I wonder how loud that's gonna be.
Let's jump scare people.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down with talking about Chick-fil-A. You were the first employee, so why don't you give your experience? This is an inside perspective from the
Inside
Chick-fil-A
perspective.
people.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, just the first day, I got hired there, and first day working front of counter. I applied for front of house cashier because I like talking to people, and I mean, from day one, the training was spectacular. I worked in a mall location. So a little bit different than the one you worked in, the freestanding building. But I cherished that mall, Chick-fil-A. It was just a great time. And my higher-ups, my bosses, my trainers, even just people that were the same level as me that had been there longer, showing me the ropes, so welcoming. I mean, really just, I feel like Chick-fil-A has a gold reputation just among all fast food places in general. And the best way I could describe it is it really does live up to every expectation you would think working there would meet. And I mean, just from my experience, I mean, everybody there wants to pour into you and make you a better worker. And in doing that, it makes you want to work harder yourself. So it's kind of like, a self-improvement cycle, like, to where you learn a position and you get really good at it, and then you get due props for it, and they congratulate you, and they really just pump your tires up, and again, if you don't do a good job and you're not proficient at it, they won't. But as long as like they see you working hard at the position and giving it a good effort, like they're gonna notice it and call it out and reward it. They had different rewards programs. I don't know what they had at the Freestander, but they had Moo Bucks when I was there, which is like like kind of like a company currency of sorts where you can get a certain amount. And I can't remember, you might have to help me on this. It's to just get like free meals, right? Or can you get like gift cards and stuff? If you had enough, couldn't you get like a $10 gift card or something?
I didn't hear about that.
Okay, that might
For
have
me-
been just a mall specific one.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it, but there's a lot of differences between, like, at least hearing from your experience at the mall, like, the moo bucks just were like, you get one moo buck, it's $1. And
Okay.
I did get 15 moo bucks once because
Oh.
yeah.
All right. You know what that deserves.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, audience. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I don't deserve it. I basically I didn't really do much. It was a combined effort. So the front of house people
It's team.
I can go into a little backstory. So when I started working there, opposite of David, I kind of started working back of house. And I'm sure at the mall they moved you around a lot more, and they liked having cross-trained workers. They liked having front and back, like both workers that could do both. But the thing about, I worked on, if those of you that are from Lynchburg, there's a Wards Road Chick-fil-A, and it's very busy. And yeah, so I started working there, and my time there was about 8 months, 8 or 9 months, I think. Yeah, something around there. And so I started working there. Like David said, everybody just really, really, really a good first job to have. Well, that wasn't my first job, but that was like my first, consistent, like the other jobs I had. Obviously, we have a kettle corn business that our family does, and then I worked at KMR Aviations for 2 summers, but yeah, those were just summers. So this was like my first job. So, what a great first job to have. Everybody just really wants the best for you, and my first day, it was so like scary because you're getting shown around everything, and there's so much, especially at the Wards one. I know at the mall they have like 3 Hennies, which is what they actually cook the chicken in with the oil in it and stuff like that. They have like 7 at the Wards Road location, and it was just a lot of the same stuff, I'm sure. I never worked at the mall, but it was just so daunting. There were so many things, so many different jobs, so many things I thought I had to remember. Like on the first day, I was trying to make mental notes about everything, and I got really overwhelmed like the first day, and then I just realized they don't expect you to know everything on the first day. A couple weeks in, you get more and more used to it. You're still asking questions, and then you get a couple months into it, and then you're like, okay, I'm walking in here. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna have to ask any questions. And so that's when I really enjoyed it, and I met so many nice people, and just there's always those like 1 or 2 people there that just run the place. They're the hardest workers. They work 110%, and that was for me a shift lead I had. His name was Caleb Ojeda. He just left such a great impression on me. He left a little bit before I left, and I hope he's doing well. He's a great, great, great guy. Maybe he's listening to this. You never know. I could send it to him.
Should do
We'll see. But yeah, he was just such a great guy, and he was locked in wherever you put him. I remember he was on breading one time, and it was rush. It was like rush hour, and it's rush hour almost every hour at Chick-fil-A. But it was like watching the Flash make bread stuff. It was insane compared to anybody else I'd seen. He was like, his hands were moving so fast, like just a great, great worker. And so that was my example. I was like, okay, I want to live up to this guy. I want to learn from him and be as good as him one day. And he had been working there for years, but he just set such a great example for me at day one. I'm pretty sure that was the first couple days at least. And I was like, man, this guy, what a great guy to look up to in this. So he was probably one of my favorite coworkers. And he was Chick-fil-A, very highest quality fast food and most cleanly fast food by far. And they live up to that. Like Caleb was he didn't really mean to, but he kind of micromanaged a lot in a nice way. Like, he critiqued me on washing my hands. I was like, I rubbed in the soap for like a couple seconds and then washed them, and he was like, you got to rub it in, you got to mix it around more. And I was like, okay. Like, I wasn't mad because he's such a nice guy. I was like, yeah, okay, sounds good. So, but it was just one of those things, like, they're so cleanly, and like, you're going to get called out if you do something that's unsanitary or work code or whatever. They're so professional there. And I went to Popeyes a couple nights ago, and I just took one glance in there, and I was like,
Oh, no.
okay, come on. Chick-fil-A is a million times better. And not that the food wasn't good. The food was good. That's how I felt. I looked in
You
there.
were
It was like a nightmare.
"Whoa."
It was a nightmare. They were all like, I don't even know.
Then you look at Chick-fil-A and it's just,
You just get that on the fly?
yeah.
Wow, that was great. Yeah, that's
Thank you.
exactly how I felt. You just, they weren't in the best mood. I didn't get the best service. And I know if I went to Chick-fil-A, I would have been leaving with a smile, with a my pleasure.
Served with a smile.
That's right. And it was good food. Popeyes, high quality, but Chick-fil-A's higher. Popeye's sandwich is just really greasy. And you just feel like you're covered in oil after. It's nasty. You just feel like you're gonna
The chicken is pretty juicy though.
It's a thick fillet.
It's very watery.
Yeah. Yeah, you just feel like you just swallowed some oil though after. You're
It's like they inject the chicken with juice, like with water.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
Popeye
sandwich.
chicken biscuit. Yeah.
It was alright though.
I got some stories to tell about Chick-fil-A. My
Let's
time
hear it.
there. So I was front counter mostly for like probably eight or 9 months, and then the rest of like the 6 months I was there, 6 or 7 months, I was dishes. And that was a good time as well. Got to listen to some stuff back in the back of house, and Chick-fil-A's dishwashing station, very cleanly, very high standards. They want everything to be very clean for the customer's health, and so that also pushed them over the top for me with just quality. But this one time I was working on the opposite side of the counter, and it was supposed to be a dish shift, but they needed me on the other side of the counter on the iPads. So at the mall, and they do this at some of the drive-through. I think all the drive-throughs now, they have people outside on the iPads taking the order and sending it through, so that the person just has to pay at the window. Or do they pay at the iPad as well? I think they pay at the iPad.
Yeah, it depends on if it's busy or not.
So at the mall, you would just take the person's order and then send it through from your iPad to the register, and the person would go around and pay. So it was a little bit different than that. But anyway, I was on the other side of the counter, and I had my boots on for dish, and I was just serving people. It was pretty busy. It was like a Saturday during the holidays, like around November, December. So it was really busy. And this old lady comes up to me, and she's like, "Hey." She just looks at me with her eyes. She's like, "Hey," locks eyes with me. I'm like, "Oh, hey," I'm just trying to be the Chick-fil-A persona, trying to, just show myself good for the brand, make the brand well. And she looks down at my feet. I'm like, "What?"
Whoa.
And she's just looking at my boots for like a straight like 1.5, 2 seconds. And she looks back at me and she says, "You look strapping in those boots."
Whoa. Granny.
And I was just
How'd
thinking to
you feel?
myself,
You on the way home, she's going to pop out of the back seat.
and but she really liked my boots. And
No, she didn't like your boots. She thought you were a strapping young man. She's not talking
she
about
liked
boots
me.
there.
She liked what was in the boots.
She liked what filled the boots.
She liked what the boots were wearing. So basically my response was, "Oh, thank you very much." And she just smiled at me. She went, "Ee." She just smiled at me. and then she
Making noise.
walked away with her Number 1, regular filet sandwich, medium fry, and I think she had a Coca-Cola.
I wonder where she is now.
Went back to her seat.
Could have her on the pod.
I would love to have her on the pod. It'd probably be a very interesting podcast.
Why try and get your number during the pod?
I could give her a call, get her to call in. But yeah, she really liked my boots. I mean, they were just standard Chick-fil-A shoes for cruise boots, non-slip. They're pretty pricey, but I just figured if I'm going to be having them, may as well get some good quality boots. Got raw chicken all over them and stuff, but I still have them. But then another day, this was equally as weird, maybe even weirder. I was sitting at the table on break, and I'm sitting there enjoying I think during this period I was going for the grilled cool wrap with sweet and spicy sriracha.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I mixed it with avocado lime ranch. Might be a little blurry.
Whoa.
But it was like sweet, and then I liked the avocado taste. It's like kind of sweet and savory. But I was having my grilled cool wrap. Highly recommend it, by the way. And you got to pay a little bit extra. They only give you $7.10 on break, or at least they did when I was there. But it was worth it. It was worth every bit extra dollar. I was sitting there eating it, and I was just sitting at a single table with a single chair kind of off to the side of the concourse area. And this older gentleman, receding hairline,
Why'd you have to have that?
I'm just trying to give people a picture of what he looked like.
Okay.
Kind looking face, though. Very kind looking man. Comes up, isn't bombastic, isn't like, creepy at all. He just, is just normal. And he's just like, hey, how you doing? Just like, hey, I'm doing good. Just on break. Just got done working a shift here, about to head in for my other one. He's like, mind if I show you something? He pulls up a chair. I'm just like, whoa. Like, okay. I'm like, yeah, sure. And he opens up this bag, this duffel bag, gray duffel bag. And I thought it was a little weird when he walked up with it, but I was like, people can, carry stuff in it, I guess. And he opens it up and he pulls out a gun.
Whoa.
It's not just any gun. It's a pistol with slugs in the in the round barrel, however you call it. I don't know how to describe this gun, but it was a big like shotgun pistol.
What kind of people are you serving? I've never heard of this.
And I'm just like, oh. He was like, I almost brought this up to the counter and showed you there, but I probably shouldn't have done that. And I decided against it. And I was like, yeah, you're probably smart for that. It's probably not the best thing to bring up to a counter with money behind it. And he was like, yeah, I didn't want it to look like I was going to rob you or something. I was just like, yeah, probably not the best idea. And so then he pulls up on it. He's like, let me show you something else. And I'm like, okay, what else is this is gonna get weird? What else could he show me that's already weirder than bringing out a pistol in a mall? And he said, I'd hold it out for you. I'd let you hold it, but I'm worried other people will see it. I don't want anybody to panic. And I was like,
what are you talking?
I was like, yeah, it's probably not the best idea. And he was like, now let me show you what else I got. And this was just, I'm mid cool rap bite, and this guy's just showing me these weapons, and he pulls up on his phone. He goes to his photos, and he starts scrolling, and he scrolls down to this series of pictures. All I see is he pulls up the photo, and it's his basement. He's got two double length love seat couches with blue tarps on them, and he's got assault rifles lined up on the blue tarps, and he's got ammo boxes stacked all around the ground around the couches.
What is wrong with this guy?
And he's like, would you look at that? I was like, wow. I was like, that's a nice stash. He was like, yeah.
What did he mean? I would let you hold one.
Well, I think he was saying he kind of
phone?
just held up the pistol out of the duffel bag a little bit.
Okay.
And he's like, I let you hold it, but it would probably look weird. And yeah, I was like, yeah. And so he pulled up on his phone, this arsenal he had, and I was just like, wow, very impressive. I was like, some cool guns right there. And he was like, yeah, I used to be in the military. He's like, I got all sorts of stuff like this back at home. I was like,
Wow.
it's like, wow. I'll your house will be the first I come to if there's an apocalypse. No, I didn't say that, but yeah, and then
Wow.
he just walked away.
What a. I don't even know.
It's a tomato moment.
I really wish I had interactions. I mean, I remember there's this one guy, I was taking out trash, and it was raw trash. Had a bunch of raw chicken and stuff on it. And I opened the back door, and the drive-thru's right there. And he stopped, and he said, I need a spoon. He said, I need a spoon and a fork. He said, can you give me a spoon and a fork? And I was in the middle of carrying the trash, and I said, no, I'm sorry. I'm raw right now. I can't touch it. He said, you just came out of the kitchen. You tell me you can't grab me a spoon or a fork. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm been touching raw chicken. And he said, all right. And he just sat there on his phone. I was like, you're in the middle of the drive-thru. What are you doing? But there's just that. I mean, there's not really any. That's a crazy story, though. Like, that guy was just all upset for nothing. But that's like a tomato. I did have this one interaction. It wasn't in Chick-fil-A. It was in the Chick-fil-A parking lot. And I was on my break, and I always go out to my car on my break to listen to podcasts and stuff. And I was on my way out. I had all my food. I was like, man, I'm going to devour this food. I'm so hungry. And on my way out, I heard, hey, excuse me. And I was like, he's probably not talking to me. And he kept saying it, and I turned around, and this guy was like tracking me down out of the Chick-fil-A lot. And I turned around, and I was like, yeah, what's up? And he said, my car broke down. I'm out of gas on the highway. I need a ride to McDonald's. My daughter works there. And it was this old guy, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm on break. I literally have like 15 minutes on my break. And it was really busy out. It was on Ward Road, and it was like rush hour. And I was like, I can't be late to work. I just got to eat this food and get back in there. And he was like, please, I'm an old man. I'm an old man, and I need a ride. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I got to be back at work in like 15 minutes. And he said, even for an old man like me, you won't do it. And I said, no, I'm sorry. He said, can I get money then? And I said, I'm sorry, I don't have any money on me either. Because I usually keep like $20 in my wallet at all times.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any at that time. I said, I'm sorry. Do you have Cash App? And he said, nope. I said, I'm sorry, I don't have any money for you. And I said, oh, I hope you find a ride. And in the middle of me saying that, he just walked by me and patted my back. And I was like, all right, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to tell you. And I just got in my car and started eating. And he found a ride. So he's probably all jolly today. But actually, I met with somebody just earlier today. We were getting coffee. And he talked about how outside of the Starbucks, he met one of his friends a couple days ago. Starbucks on Wards Road next to Cold Stone Creamery if you are from Lynchburg. And he said he had the same interaction multiple times. This guy comes up and asks for a ride because something about McDonald's, and he needs a ride there. His car ran out of gas on the highway. And I said, that's literally exactly what happened to me. And he said, he's an old guy with all white hair, white beard. And I said, yes. Like same, and it kind of makes sense because Starbucks is right down from Chick-fil-A. So I was like, man, I'm kind of glad, I didn't give him a ride because I don't know why he keeps asking for a ride to McDonald's. And that's just, I don't know. That's a line I don't cross when somebody asks to be in your car, a stranger. It's like you have to have a clear answer from the Lord if you're going to do that. Like, give this guy a ride.
Yeah.
Or if I don't hear that, that's way too dangerous. I'm not risking that. I'll give you money. I'll give you money for a bus ride if you really want it, but I'm not letting you in my car. Like, that's just a whole nother level of trust that I don't have.
Yeah, you don't know what could happen. I mean, it's easy to say, well, I would give that guy a ride easy, but it's like when you're in that situation, you don't know. I mean, you don't know the mental state of people. Like, you don't know if they could have a knife on them. Like, yeah, I mean, it's very risky business to even have somebody approach you like that. But I mean, yeah, I feel like it happens pretty frequently in Lynchburg. It hasn't happened to me in a while. I have a story kind of recently. I was making a run for work, driving to Richmond, and I stopped at a Sheetz to get some gas before the trip. And I was pulling out of the Sheetz, and this guy stops me. He like waves me down, and so I drive up to him and I put down my window, and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "My mama's got a car just like yours," and he said, "If you can fix it, you can have it." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Just come over to my house, and if you fix it, you can have it. It's just like this car you're driving right now." And I was like, okay. I was like, "Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'll be in touch."
If you can fix it, you can have it. I love that voice.
It was really. He was just a jolly old man, and he was very excited to see my car, my old '96 Ford Explorer.
That's kind of a rare car. I'm surprised there's a 1-to-1 remake that's broken down.
He was very excited, and I don't know if it was an inheritance, if he saw me as like his son, but it was very. I just wasn't expecting it, but it was a great offer. I mean, it's so nice. If I knew where it was, I would come fix it so I could have it.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, for some reason I just have a lot of interactions like that. I don't know why. I mean, I just had one last Sunday. I was leaving. I go to a church called Hill City downtown, and it's in the hood, kind of. And so there's some characters that are around there. So across from it is a McDonald's parking lot and a library as well. And so church let out, and I was on my way to my car, and sorry, I got a little interrupted there. So I was on my way out to my car by the McDonald's, and on the way over, there was this lady and this man standing there right outside the McDonald's, and you kind of have to walk by to get to the parking lot. So I was on my way over, and this guy is asking for money, and I go up to him, what do you need? And instantly, even from a couple yards back, you could smell that this guy was just smoking weed for like, I don't even know. He just reeked of weed, and his eyes were all bloodshot, and I was like, oh gosh. He's like, "I need money, man. I need money." And I said, "I'm not going to give you money, but I can get you a meal at this McDonald's." And he was like, "Well, no, I want money." And I said, "No, I'm going to get you a meal." And I didn't say this, but I'm like, "I'm not going to give you money. You're going to go and buy more weed." And it just reeked. Like, no offense to the guy at all, but like,
just the nature of what smoking
nasty.
it does.
Yeah. And I got him the meal and everything, and he was kind of chill, and I tried to share the gospel with him, but he said he had went to the early service, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm all into Jesus, man. I love Jesus." And he was like, I was like, "Oh, that's great." And I don't know, I don't want to assume, but it kind of seemed like it was kind of artificial. And maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just because he was high. But he was talking about how he's on a bunch of prescription medications for these these it's anxiety medication and stuff. And it was just, I tried to talk to him about Jesus, but he was acting like he knew everything. And I was like, I mean, I can't share the gospel with somebody that thinks they know everything. And maybe he did. And so I just left that. I was like, okay, I bought him a meal, and I'll probably see him again. And it's just, you can't witness to somebody that thinks they know everything.
Yeah.
And I wanted to pray for him,
and I did pray with him, and he prayed with me. He prayed over me and stuff, but I was like, I don't know. I didn't know if he was praying to some other god or anything, because he was obviously in a different mind state. Obviously, he was so high, but. And then I left, and I smelled like weed. I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's nasty.
Yeah, nasty stuff. I mean, yeah, I mean that's interaction sounds like. I mean, I wouldn't think, I would take him at his word. I mean, if you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord, like if he was saying he believes in Jesus, there's nothing that says someone can't be saved and just be a carnal Christian, just walking in the way of the world, and that's why in submitting to Jesus and letting him rule, you take on you just inherently exude the traits of Jesus, and righteousness and holiness just exudes from your person as you submit your temple and everything you are to Jesus moment by moment throughout the day. And, that's why it's important to do that, because if you don't and you slip away into the world and the world kind of consumes your personality, you can go from really having a changed experience where you accept Christ in your heart and you're saved and you're sealed and you're going to heaven, but your mark on the world is just so nullified and diminished because you're living every single day in debauchery, not walking in the Spirit, not walking in your freedom that you've received and that you have in Jesus. And so, I mean, that guy could just have a symptom of, not submitting to God in that certain area of his life with that certain addiction to marijuana. And unfortunately, the result of that is that he looks no different than any other non-saved person on the street, and nobody can tell him apart. Nobody can get an example from him of what a Christian should look like who walks in the Spirit. And so, I mean, that's kind of unfortunate, but there's a lot of carnal Christians out in the world. So that guy, with the addiction that he had to marijuana, at least that it seemed, not much different than a lot of other Christians that struggle in other areas of addiction, so.
Yeah, and like I said, don't mean to judge him in any way, but it's just like, he's talking about how he works at Subway and stuff, and it just seemed like everything I was saying was going in one ear and out the other. He was just like, yeah, to everything, and I was like, I'm not getting through to you at all. And if you're a believer, that's great, but I'm you're as high as a kite, and I'm trying to help you out. I'm just, if I see him again, I'm gonna say I've been praying for you, like I've been praying for him, and we all have struggles, like, I hope what he was saying was genuine, and I don't know, if I see him again, I'm gonna say I've been praying for you, but I'm just not gonna keep on buying him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Meals.
I mean, there's a certain point where you can't keep affirming people's debauchery and how they're living their lives. You can do it to a point, but
if I could actually have a conversation with him and maybe even like study the Bible with him, I would. But just from that interaction where he wasn't taking anything in, he was just like in a different world, I was like, I'm not going to be able to talk to him about anything, and for him to actually take any of it in, I feel like. So, I mean, if I knew I could buy him a meal and sit down with him and actually have a genuine conversation about Jesus and what he's done in my life and what he's done in his walk with the Lord, I would buy him meals every Sunday. Like, I would love to, just grow with the Lord with somebody like that. But I mean, maybe if he's in a better state next time I see him, then I would love to sit down with him and just chat with him. And I don't have to buy him a meal, you know. Just could be a conversation if he, yeah. But at the same time, there's a lady he was with, and I don't know if they're related or anything, but last time we were leaving, and the lady was there. The guy wasn't there though, and Catherine, who's my girlfriend, if anybody doesn't know, she bought her a meal, I mean, and tried to share the gospel with her, and she kind of reacted the same way. I don't know if she was under the influence of anything, but and then she said her name was Jakisha or something along the lines of that. I didn't talk to her personally. Catherine was talking to her, and then she was there that day, and she said her name was Sarah. So she said 2 different names at 2 different times. So that makes me feel like they're just putting on an act, which I'm not really surprised, but again, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But just like 2 different names lying to people, maybe. I don't know. A little blurry, but I did what I felt like the Lord was leading me to. So we'll see. I'll keep the pod updated on if anything else happens.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a tomato, really.
It was a semi-ripe tomato. It's the best way to describe
It's
it.
not quite ready to be plucked, but in due time.
Yeah.
Have you had any more interactions like that? Just like random people approaching you?
Not really. Like I was saying before, I haven't really had anybody come up and ask for money or anything, or yeah, I had a conversation with a lady holding one of the ladies that holds the construction signs for like when people do road work that says stop and slow.
Okay.
And named Jimmy.
Nice.
She was really nice. And shout out to Jimmy out there, standing around some 2-way roads, holding up a construction sign, doing a great job, just getting infrastructure built. The road was finished, and it was beautiful. So, Jimmy, thank you for your efforts in making that road paving possible, doing your part. And super sweet lady, a little bit older than me, like 22, 23. And yeah, I mean, she was just kind of telling me a little bit about her story. Just asked if I would pray for her to get a new job. I asked if there was anything I could pray for. She said just a new job. She graduated high school and then just went right on to the construction industry, it sounded like. And it's got to be a rough environment for a woman, especially working with a bunch of hardened guys, that are working the roads and stuff. It can't be, the most enlightening place to work at. So I can see why she'd probably want to get a new job. And, I mean, you don't think about it, but her job, Ben, was literally, she told me she stands for 8 hours a day, sometimes 8 to 10 hours. At that time, it was about 5 o'clock in the evening. And she said she'd been out there since 6 a.m. standing, holding that sign. Wow. Standing in one place, holding, it's a heavy sign. It's not a light sign, like it's a road sign. And just listening on a radio for when to flip it back. And she said that's what she does. She travels around with these construction crews, and she sets up, and she gets in her standing place, and that's where she stands for 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. So, and that's, I didn't ask, but that's not a super high paying job, I can imagine. Like, but that's just the type of people that you need to appreciate, because somebody's got to do that job for infrastructure to happen. And I don't know. It's really good work, and shout out to Jimmy. I don't know if she's still doing that work, but if you're not, thank you for your service in that job. And if you are, then thank you for your continued service in that work, because someone's got to do it. And I would hate that job so much, just standing on the side of the road, holding a sign for hours and hours and hours into the night. She said sometimes she's on night shift and it's like really creepy because there's animals going through the road and stuff, and like there's weird people at night. She said that drive by on some of these country roads, and I can only imagine it. Probably some drunk people, like you don't know what you come up against. And yeah, I mean, props to her. Very nice woman, and just seemed like a person with a really good heart. So I went driving on, and I didn't see her when I came back the next couple of days. But yeah, jobs like that remember Dirty Jobs?
Oh, yeah.
Was Micro. Yeah, just that kind of reminded me of that. Just jobs that people do that you don't really appreciate, just because you don't think about them, but somebody's got to do them. And it just makes me more thankful for my job and what I get to do. And yeah.
Did you talk to her? Did you just like pull up on the road next to her? Or did you?
Well, I was the first car leading the stop, like
So you talked to her while she was working.
when she'd flipped her sign.
That's cool.
And yeah, she was just walking, and I kind of motioned over for her to come up to my car because I knew it would be a while. And she was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be about 5-10 minutes." And so I was just able to talk with her, and you know, I don't pressure myself anymore to like necessarily press the gospel on people at all. I just talk about what God's done in my life and how thankful I am for my relationship with Him, and then just ask if there's anything I can pray for. And it's really just that simple. I didn't have any sort of nerves to do it that way. If I would have gone into it thinking I need to do John 3:16, I need to do Romans 10 verse 9, like walk through all these different steps, it would have been totally different. And I don't know if I would have even talked to her about it, because I probably would have been too nervous to get everything just perfectly right. But it's like when you go into it just asking the Lord to work and speak through you, it becomes nothing of like any pressure on yourself. It becomes something where it's just, all right, God, only you can get this word across how you want it to sound. And I'm not going to try in my humanism to get this across to the person. I want you to do it to them. I want you to get it across to them, because you're going to be able to get it across better than I could ever get it across trying myself. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And yeah, again, no nerves, no problem. Just, and I have been praying for her. So, Jimmy, I hope you either moved up within the construction organization or you are working someplace else that's just better.
Yeah, I like I said, I've had a lot of interactions like that within the past couple weeks. And I had one a couple weeks ago. Me and Catherine went to Klein's, which is on Wards Road. Big shout out
Great
to Klein's.
ice cream place.
Really, really good ice cream.
Not Klein underwear. Klein ice cream.
Different. I
Different
think
brand.
Klein is with a K. Calvin Klein. Oh wait, maybe they're both with a K.
I think Calvin Klein's 2 C's.
You might be right. Yeah, we're
Let's
gonna
get off the underwear topic.
we're gonna go with Klein's ice cream. Big shout out. Get if you ever go there, get the cookie butter sundae. Great.
Crumble cookie
choice.
of the week.
Crumble cookie of the week. Big shout out to Adam. Adam likes the crumble cookie with me. Tres leches.
Tres leches.
So yeah, I pulled up to Klein's in the drive-thru, and right in front of Klein's there was this lady sitting in on one of the benches in front of the restaurant, and she was wrapped in a bunch of layers of clothes, and it was cold out, and she had a bunch of stuff there with her, like a whole cart of, it looks like her belongings, and I had been praying for the Lord to bring people across my path that He wants me to witness to or talk to, just have a conversation, like you said, because it's never gonna work out well if you just, I have to tell somebody about Jesus today. I have to do this. I have to do this. It should just be natural, and if you don't feel peace with it, it's yourself saying that you need to do this to feel like a good Christian. And that's the opposite of what I felt. I felt the Holy Spirit be like, you just go talk to her, just have a conversation with her. So I talked to Catherine, and I was like, do you want to go talk to this lady with me? She was like, yeah, I saw her too. I think, yeah, we should go talk to her. And so we got our ice cream. We ate our ice cream and checked if she was still there. She was. And we went up and talked to her, and it didn't go the way I thought it would. We introduced ourselves, and we were like, we just wonder if you were hungry, we could go grab something to eat with you. And she didn't want to talk to us at all, which she was very, very nice about it. She was like, oh, no, thank you. And her name is Takesha. And so we knew her name, and we just said, we introduced ourselves. Like I said, we asked if she wanted any food and if she was sleeping out there. She said she was. And we were just like, well, we could use something to eat. And she said, no, thank you. So we just got the vibe that she really wanted to be left alone, which, we're not going to push. It's just supposed to be natural. So we just went back to our cars. We said, okay, we hope you have a great night. And that was the end of that. But ever since then, I've been praying for her and praying that the Lord would bring her across our paths again if it's meant to be that we should talk to her. And we went to Klein's again like a couple days later. We're big Klein's fans, if you can't tell. We're very, it's in the rotation, to say the least. So we pulled up there a couple days later, and we saw her there, and we were like, okay, let's just go try and talk to her one more time. Just want to make sure. We were kind of like second guessing, like we don't want to bother her, we don't want to annoy her, but we just kind of want to express to her that we care, and if maybe she might be in a better mood. It was a little earlier, so it wasn't, we pulled up like 9-10 at night last time, so it was like 6 or 7. So we were like, maybe she'll be more open to talk. And so, but then we decided, we were like, maybe it might just be better if Catherine went, because she's a girl, and maybe it was a little intimidating for 2 people to go up to her and talk to her. She might be more open if it was one person. So Catherine went over and talked to her, and it kind of went like last time. She just wasn't really open to anything. And so Catherine didn't push. She was just like, okay, well, we just want to let you know we've been praying for you, and I hope you have a good night. And Catherine came back, and she told me, and we looked for a track to give her, just to leave her with something positive, because she didn't want to be prayed. We knew she wanted to us to pray with her or anything, so we just wanted to leave her with something. And Catherine, we found a track in my car, and she went up and gave it to her, and she said, well, I just want to let you know Jesus loves you, and here's this track. I hope you read it, and have a great night. So we just left it at that, and we just wanted to make sure to not bother her or not annoy her in any way. And I hope we didn't, but we really just tried to do bare minimum, because she wasn't interacting at all. I mean, she said she recognized Catherine. She was like, oh, hello, and said a couple things, but it wasn't really anything. She didn't really want any food or any conversation, so we were just left her with the gospel, and that's all you can really do. Just pray for her from there. So, but yeah, it was a good interaction overall. I feel like, just to show that we cared, because I felt the Holy Spirit tell me that we should go talk to her, and we didn't get a conversation, but maybe all she needed to lift her up was to realize that some people do care, that people do care about her, and that she is loved, and most importantly, she is loved by Jesus. So I hope we got that across to her very well. But yeah, for anybody out there, just keep Takesha in your prayers, that she would find a place to sleep, and find a job to provide and get food for herself, and all that. I don't know her exact situation, so, but that's just what I've been praying, that she would be able to find a place to sleep. But yeah,
That's awesome. It's a great story.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. How long have we been going here?
Coming up on, we're not at an hour and 15.
Wow.
I'm trying to get us a caller here.
Okay. Who are we shooting for? Surprise.
I'm not going to say. Yeah, surprise.
Okay.
I kind of just want to dial a random number and just see who we can get.
Okay.
Just tell them when they're on a podcast. What do they want to say? Happy.
I might
Might have to censor it.
need a filter.
Yeah.
Let's give it a go. Call Papa J, Papa John's.
I'm not going to call an establishment.
We don't want any pizza, but do you want to feature on our podcast?
All right. I'm going to call in New York area code.
Oh boy.
I feel like might be somebody
Might get
with
some libs.
some free time on their hands there. What is the area code for that? Okay, 914.
Who's the governor or whatever? Cuomo?
Chrissy Cuomo. I don't think he is anymore.
Oh.
But yeah, I think it's been a pretty good pod so far.
Oh yeah, I agree. The flow of conversation has been great.
All right, I'm not going to say this person's number because. All right, here goes nothing. The suspense.
I don't even, who is this?
It's
Random-
nobody.
Random.
Random person in New York.
Probably think we're a scam caller.
Maybe. It's a no-go.
Okay.
My heart was kind of beating.
Yeah. What would we say?
Some suspense. I don't know.
Do you have anything to say to the pod?
I don't know. But we're gonna figure it out here. We're gonna get some people calling into this show, and you best believe it. It's gonna be a good time.
We could have Desmond. Big. Oh,
Good.
Okay. We glanced over Desmond. Desmond Context.
Desmond
we love
Context
Desmond.
is a beautiful man.
What a great guy.
He was just a light in that space, and
Gave us so much inspiration.
I was very happy to be able to read off some scripts he gave me for one of his videos, and he gave us a huge shout out in one of his biggest subscriber celebration videos, and just wow.
Just very heartwarming.
He was a great guy, and I mean, still is. I'm talking about him like in the past. I
You get him
only
called.
say that because
Get him to call in.
oh yeah, we will. We will,
That would be
Desmond. We're
sick.
gonna give you a call for the next podcast. Just be ready for it. Just love to include you, talk about life. If you have any funny stories, we'd love to hear from you. I just heard from one of the guests that he would not be able to do it, but he said maybe some other time. So yeah, we'll keep you updated on that. I'm gonna work on that. But anyway, we're coming up on an hour 20. I think that's a good amount of content right there. Almost 80 minutes of content. So, thank you guys so much for listening to this first podcast. And wow, BDP is back and better than ever with this juicy content coming right at you.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We just appreciate the ear to listen, and we were just blabbering on a couple of dummies with the mic, but I hope it turned out well. I like how on Blurry Creatures, that shout out to them. Did you say we're a couple of dummies with what did they say?
A couple of dummies with microphones. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I wanna adopt that.
Did
saying.
you ever get to listen to that Drake Bell "Draw Me Closer" song?
I did not.
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
well, we're gonna get a live reaction from
BTH.
BT. I was just gonna say that from Ben here. This is gonna get us copyright, but I don't care. Draw Me Closer by Drake Bell. Go check it out, guys. It is a good song. This is your first reaction to it.
It is.
That's how we're closing out the pod.
Lost in the mire, shrouded in doubt. When a cathedral of light guided me out, I've reached the hilltops. Take me to the mountain. Bathe me in love. Let me drink from your fountain. Though forgiven my sins to the sea, draw me closer, draw me closer. Fill my spirit, reign over me. Draw me closer to you, draw me closer. The book is open, so is my heart. Every daybreak, a brand new start. You've torn the curtain, I'm at the mercy seat. Make me one with you, make me complete. Oh, forgiven my sins to the sea. Draw me closer, draw me closer. Fill my spirit, reign over me. Draw me closer to you, draw me closer. I've made the leap but wish to fly past horizons beyond the sky. The glow inside